Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, I will be talking about the NBA restart and my predictions. So to start off, here's the details. So the NBA is making a comeback to finish off the 2019-2020 season after it stopped due to the coronavirus, and here's the details. So to start off, the league will start on July 30th. It'll feature 22 teams. The 22 teams are as follows. So from the Eastern Conference, you got the Milwaukee Bucks, Toronto Raptors, Boston Celtics, Miami Heat, Indiana Pacers, Philadelphia 76ers, Brooklyn Nets, Orlando Magic, and the Washington Wizards. Next up, you got the Western Conference, and the teams are as follows. The Los Angeles Lakers, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Denver Nuggets, Utah Jazz, Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, Dallas Mavericks, Memphis Grizzlies, Portland Trail Blazers, New Orleans Pelicans, Sacramento Kings, San Antonio Spurs, and Phoenix Suns from the Western Conference. Moving on, here's some details for the league. So each team will play 8 seeding games prior to the start of the NBA playoffs to determine the final regular season standings. Once those games are completed, the 8 seed in both conferences will automatically clinch a playoff spot if it leads the 9 seed by more than 4 games. However, if the 9 seed is within 4 games of the A seed, those two teams will meet in a play-in tournament. Under the format, a 9 seed would need to win 2 straight games against the 8 seed to make the playoffs, whereas the 8 seed would only need to win 1 game. And so with that, here's my predictions for the seeding. If there is a 9 seed in each of each conference, I believe in the Western Conference will have the Kings, Pelicans, or Suns, and in the Eastern Conference I believe that the Wizards or Magic would be the 9 seed. So with that, moving on, all my finals predictions are as follows. So I have the Lakers as Lakers versus Bucks. I have the Lakers versus Raptors. I have the Clippers versus Bucks. I have the Clippers versus Celtics. I also have the Rockets versus Bucks, Rockets versus Nets. To move on next, here's my long shot predictions, which I don't believe will happen, but I have to include just for the fun of it. I have the Raptors versus Thunder. I have the 76ers versus Trailblazers, Nets versus Mavericks. So yeah, that'll wrap up the predictions that I have. And to quickly add on, I would like to go through every player that so far announced that they will be sitting out for many different reasons. So to quickly start off, Russell Westbrook, as of today, he tested positive for the coronavirus. He said he is feeling well and he may expect to come back, but he might sit out, so who knows. And then confirmed sit outs, I'd like to add on that David Bertans from the Washington Wizards has announced that he will be sitting out. It appears that he's not worried about the virus. However, it's believed to be that he has a fear of re-injuring his ACL, as he has 2 torn ACLs in his past. So yeah, he'll be sitting out. Next you have Trevor Ariza from the Portland Trail Blazers. He isn't sitting out due to the worries of the virus, but he will be battling for custody of his son. He'll need to self-isolate for 10 days prior to taking any legal action. And then, as many of you already know, Kevin Durant, it's pretty simple. He tore his Achilles when the season was first going on, and he simply does not want to take any risk of any kind, and he preferred to sit out for the restart. However, Durant did previously test positive for the coronavirus back on March 17th. So yeah, that'll be that. Next up, you got Kelly Oubre Jr. from the Phoenix Suns. Same scenario as Kevin Durant. Oubre injured his knee shortly before the NBA stoppage occurred, so he doesn't want to risk anything, which is understandable. Next up, we got Avery Bradley. The reasoning for this sit-out has nothing to do with Avery Bradley himself, but instead with his son, who is recovering from a respiratory illness, which could be a symptom of the virus. It has not been confirmed, but yeah, with that, I'd like to add on just a quick list of players who previously tested positive for the coronavirus recently or previously. So to start off, you have Boston Celtics Marcus Smart. Next, you have Brooklyn Nets Kevin Durant and 4 other unknown players on the team. Next, you have Denver Nuggets, a team member, and also Nikola Jokic. Next, you got Detroit Pistons Christian Wood. After that, you got Los Angeles Lakers 2 unnamed players, and as many of you already know, Utah Jazz Rudy Gobert, who was the first player known to test positive. Also Donovan Mitchell on the team. So yeah, that wraps up this podcast. That'll be it. So let me know your thoughts on this podcast on my Twitter, Root of All Sport. Let me know any predictions that you may have, or if you agree or disagree with my predictions. So just shoot over a message or tweet at me, interact. So yeah, see you guys in the next one. And the next one will be on this Thursday. And that podcast will be about the MLB restart and my predictions in that league. So yeah, I'd be expecting that on that date. See you guys in the next one.